Today I'm going to discuss the most important chapter of the BA program student first year, Fluency in English. Hitting Dowry for a Six by Kalpana Sharma. Kalpana Sharma was the writer of this article, which has been published in 1st June 2003. So, Kalpana Sharma was born on the 23 March 1994, Mumbai, Maharashtra, India, in a middle class Hindu family. She was raised in Mumbai and also completed her education from Maharashtra. Kalpana Sharma is a communist and former deputy editor of The Hindu. In her 4 decades as a full-time journalist, she has also held senior position in Himmat Weekly, Indian Express and Time of India. She is the author of Rediscovering Dharavi. So by these two paragraphs, he comes to know that how the Kalpana Sharma was raised in the Mumbai, Maharashtra, and she has also completed her education from Maharashtra. She was a communist and a former deputy editor of the Hindu. In her 4 decades as a full-time journalist, she has also held senior position in Himmat Weekly, Indian Express and Time of India, and she is the author of the Rediscovering Dharavi. So Kalpana Sharma was the writer of this article, which is published in 1st June 2003. Hitting dowry for a six. There is a two famous cases of dowry which has been portrayed are Nisha Sharma's and Satyarani Chadha cases. The only two difference between these cases: in the Satyarani case, she took a step against the dowry after bearing the loss. She has to lose her daughter because of the evil of the dowry, whereas the Nisha Sharma took a step earlier. When her family realized that the law's demands have become unaffordable. So in this article, we Kalpana Sharma is write about the two beautiful cases, which is totally based on the dowry system, which is still exist in India after the 60-year independence. People are sick with the poor mentality of this dowry system, which is still existing in our country. This process is continuing in India as well as in the village area of the India also. So Kalpana Sharma wants to tell by this article how the Satyarani Chadha and Nisha Sharma took the action against it, and how they overcome and become a independent citizen of India. Nisha Sharma cases is different from the Satyarani Chadha cases, but always reminds the public anti-dowry movement started by her. Nisha Sharma continued to meet her laws each and every unreasonable demand until they could not afford with the help of her parents. Nisha Sharma was able to fight those demands. So in the Nisha Sharma cases and Satyarani cases, both are very different, but always remind the public anti-dowry movement started by her. Nisha Sharma continued to meet her laws each and every unreasonable demands until they could not afford with the help of her parents. Nisha was able to fight those demands. So she becomes the victim of this anti-dowry system, which is still exists in the poor mentality of the Indian pupils who are coming from the village area and who are living in the cities also. They are still sick from this poor mentality. Uh, they really don't want to see the ability of a girl to become a boy and take all the responsibility of her as a son. They always wants to remind the girls they are inferior to their son, and that's why they have to pay for it in the mean of the dowry system. So this kind of mentality is still existing in Indian pupils. So on the other hand, there is Satyarani Chadda who only took a step when daughter was killed because her family was not able to meet the material demands. Nisha's courage was widely acknowledged by the whole country. The writer says that all the women who have become the target of the dowry should not mark their faces as they are not alone. They should stand up for themselves against dowry, otherwise there would be no use of Nisha's and Satyarani Chatha efforts. In both cases, they both are taking lots of actions against the anti-dowry system because they becomes the victim of that the poor mentality of the Indian culture, and the people who are educated but still sick from this kind of mentality, and who are living in around of us and giving so much uh, lectures and lessons on that why the girls should be inferior, and why a girl should be pay for it in the comparison of their son. And this kind of mentality is still existing after the independence of 60 years of India. So they are Kalpana Sharma was to take a action by these two cases, and she is wants to tell the how the Indian culture is still sick from this poor mentality. Hitting Dowry for a Six is the title used by the Kalpana Sharma for her article that is written against the dowry. The term has been used as a metaphor from cricket. To score a six in a cricket, we need to throw the ball out of the boundary. Just like that, in our society, we need to throw the dowry out of the boundary, but the ball is dowry, and our society is the boundary. And with the help of the parental support and determination, we need to throw dowry out of the boundary. So, by this article, Kalpana Sharma wants to tell us how we have to take the actions, and we have to do the lots of efforts, make free Indian pupils and their mentality from this anti-dowry system, which is still existing in Indian culture and Indian pupils. After the lots of efforts by the government and lots of education and lots of leaders stand against it, like we should not the forgets of the leaders uh, names of like Swami Vivekanand, and all the leaders who are still ready to fight against this kind of anti-dowry system and the poor mentality of the Indian culture pupils. So now the Kalpana Sharma is want to score the six, as she wants to throw the ball of anti-dowry out of the boundary of our society, mind, and their life also, because she wants to give them an beautiful examples from these two cases, where the Nisha Sharma and Satyarani Chattas become the victim of this anti-dowry system, and both are educated and become the victim of this anti-dowry system, and how they take the action and raise their voice. So this kind of explanation discussion she giving in with the example by this article. So the central issue is that the woman is considered as a burden in her material house and is accepting to bring her facilities, which in the end become the facilities for the material family. Such a mentality is obvious inappropriate, as there is no need for a woman to bring such facility to her material house. She should not consider as a burden for providing the domestic help to her in-laws. So the central issue is that the woman is considered as a burden in her material house, and she is accepting to bring her facilities, which in the end become the facility for the material family. So when the bride is come from the other house, mm, some pupils have this kind of mentality. She should take all the facilities and all the comforts from her material house, from her maternal house, as she considered as a burden in in-laws home, and that's why she have to pay for it. She brings all the luxurious things with her, which becomes the part of her material house. Now the all the facility she wants to um, in laws home, she have to bring from her own home, from her parental support. So this kind of mentality people have in this time, and so Indian culture is still exiting from the sickness of the mentality of the anti-dowry system, and after the lots of education and lots of capability of a girl child and a bride capability, they they still thinking that she is not able to do anything in the comparison of their son. She always they always consider her as a burden, and that's why, and she is not able to do anything, and that's why she should bring all the comforts from her own maternal home, and which will be a part of the in-laws home after the marriage. So now she is discussing the advantage for the women. In Kalpana Sharma article, in order to beat men in the dowry game, all the women should remember that they have lots of advantage on their side. The country has more men than women, which means that they should be the ones who should running after the girls and paying prices known as dowry to the woman. If the girl has the support of her parents and determined on her side, then only the dowry would stop. So it is the duty of her parents and the determination of a girl who only can stop this anti-dowry system, which is the poor mentality of a people who are illiterate and coming from the village area and start living in the cities, and but their sickness and their mentality were the same. They wearing the clothes of the cities and malls, but their mentality, their education is limited. That's why they are doing this kind of uh, mentality and actions which which raise this kind of anti-dowry system forward. So the advantage of a for a woman is all about on her determination, her parental support, and how she should stop this kind of anti-dowry system, and how she becomes the victim of that. It's totally depend on her mentality and determination. So reasonable and unreasonable demands. The Kalpana Sharma discussed the reasonable and unreasonable demands. That's why the bride should meet them. Why are there reasonable demands that the bride has to pay even after providing the additional domestic help to the material family? So there are lots of reasonable and unreasonable demands there, which have discussed in this article by the Kalpana Sharma, discussing the reasonable and unreasonable demand. That's why the bride should meet them. Why are there reasonable demand that the bride has to pay even after providing the additional domestic help to the material family? So there are lots of reasonable and non-reasonable demands from the laws in law sites, or why the girl should meet them if she is doing the household work, if she brings the lots of facility from her own house, and now she has become the after marriage, now she has become the part of the family. So why she if the why should she behave like that, and why should uh, this kind of unreasonable demands she should meet them? So this kind of voice raised by the Kalpana Sharma through this article. The article questions this perspective mentality that how a woman who works all the day long to serve the law's family becomes a burden for them. The article is questioning that if the girl is working whole day, so how she has become the burden for the how she has become the burden from for her in-laws home. So if she is doing work whole day, so she is doing lots of efforts in a whole day, so why she is considering as a burden in her own family? Now she is a part of the family, and in-laws should set have to set their mind. Now she is also a part of this family, and if the responsibility is there, so the right should be there also. A girl should not is made for the work and household work, and for the completing for the responsibility and all that thing. She is also have a right to take the decision for her own self and for her children's also. If she is doing a work for a whole day in her in-laws home, she should not consider as a burden. If she is doing if she is giving lots of time in the household work, in the same manner if she is doing the same work in the out in the official way, she should not consider as a burden. That's why if she is giving her time in her home and household work, and ready to take the all the responsibilities of her children's and their future, she should not consider as a burden of the family. And she lots after the marriage she has a lots of right to take her decision about their own self and as well as for their children's also. So the conclusion is that Nisha Sharma was an anti-dowry lawsuit in India that represent how IPC 490A laws can be misused. It began in 2003 when Nisha Sharma accused her prospective groom, Munish Dalal, of demanding dowry. On the other hand, there is Satyarani Chadha, who only took a step when her daughter was killed. Her family was not able to meet the material family demands. Through the discussion of both cases, we come to know the conclusion that a girl should be enough educated and determined to finish this kind of process completely. So there is a most important action from the parental side. If you raising a girl and make her enough educated in order to finish this kind of mentality, you have to educate them, and the education is very necessary in this Indian culture, as well as we have read lots of article about the anti-dowry systems and girls' education and advantage for the women and empowerment of the women's rights and all that things. We should make her enough capable to finish this kind of sickness, poor mentality of our Indian culture, which is still existing after the independence of the 60 years of India. Still, pupils are coming from the village area. Still, they wearing a lots of modern clothes and enjoying lots of facilities of the cities, but their mentality remains the same. So only the girl is should be enough capable and determined about that she should and she can only finish this kind of poor mentality of our Indian culture. So I hope you like this video, which is very important from your syllabus, and is hitting a dowry for a six. And this article is written by the Kalpana Sharma, who is totally against the anti-dowry system and the sickness of the Indian pupils. And now you have to, if the question is coming from this uh, lesson, you have to write the first of all you have to write the Kalpana Sharma introduction and their upbringing, and how she is become the communist and former deputy editor of the Hindus, and which kind of position she have in the Himmat Weekly and all that thing. And Kalpana Sharma's dowry systems and all the things is here, and you have to write the article, um, and you have to discuss the both cases, how the both cases are different from each other. Nisha Sharma's cases and the Satyarani cases, both are based on the dowry, anti-dowry system, but you have to write all both discussion. And hitting dowry for a six is the title used by the Kalpana Sharma. You have to explain it in your answer, which is very important. How she wants to score a six in order to throw the ball out of the society boundary, and the ball is the anti-dowry system. So you have to explain it. And the central issue is that the woman is considered as a burden in her material house, and how she is accepting for all the unnecessary unreasonable demands. So advantage for the woman is also very important point. Reasonable and unreasonable demands you have to write about it. And the article is also questioning about how she's become a burden on in her in-laws home if she is doing lots of work and lots of in the whole day work in in-laws home, how she becomes a burden on them. If she is giving her time in the household work, she should not consider as a burden in her in-laws home. Either she is giving her time in the official work, she should and she can earn very good money for herself and for her children also. And the conclusion is also very important. You can write in your own language. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.